Okay, next one. So I don't necessarily feel like, the interpretation Davy is presenting of the multiple versions of the prison as somebody mentally unraveling. I don't really feel that that's the only way to interpret that. However, of course, Davy does know this Coda chap, although I am starting to also wonder about, this whole notion of Coda and meeting Coda, and whether we're being told a good story here, or Coda is just a character within that good story, or a real person. I don't know. That wouldn't be a problem. I don't think we've ever been sold on this being a true story. I guess just for me, I naturally kind of I wanted to believe, I suppose, that it was. Right, let's explore. Zombie attack? I actually kind of, despite what I said earlier, now I actually kind of would be very impressed if there was a sudden zombie attack, and you had a an assault rifle, and suddenly you go online into an arena and you're playing with other people. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I know it's sacrilege. I know. Hola.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. All of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Yeah, a very interesting point as well, that if this game was never shared and was created, and all of the coding and everything behind the scenes was done, and this chat system was set up, it is Coda talking to himself, and maybe we should think about what that actually represents. I guess it could be a form of therapy, or at the very least a way of thinking things through. The obvious conclusion to draw is the prison represents maybe the prison of the mind, or the prison of anxiety or fear, or some other prison that you create for yourself, and he's kind of talking himself through that in chat. It's a weird but intriguing concept. So let's be positive here. I interpret answer number 1 as positive. I'm forgetting what the prison was like. That's kind of sweet. Both answers are kind of really nice. Like a message from the far future, or a message from just a few moments ago, but equally I read both messages as it's going to be okay. Wow. I mean, just it's very sweet, but also it's very sad as well. Obviously, he wants to hear some particular answers. He wants to find those answers himself. I think number 2 is pretty accurate. Wow. Well, just think about those 2 answers for a moment. Very nice. Really heartwarming. It's It's really quite a touching dialogue. It really is. Probably because it strikes a chord with me. Yep. And if this conversation strikes a chord with you, I'll tell you, absolutely, it will make sense. Absolutely. I think it's chapter one of looking after yourself. Chapter one of developing yourself is you need to find out what's blocking you from doing what you want to do. And how are you going to solve that? You're going to talk to someone, a friend, parent, therapist. You make sure you just do it if you have to do it. Otherwise, you stay in the prison.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Most important thing in the world. Very touching. And just look at what we experienced just through text chat.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
So yeah, just to finish that last thought, look at what we experienced just through text chat. No fancy graphics. Not even a soundtrack. It was the beep of the phone. Almost like when you're waiting in a call center or a telephone tree of some sort. You know, press 1 for customer service, press 2 for technical support. An inventive and touching way of exploring that subject. I'm really impressed with this game, and absolutely intrigued to know what's going to happen next. So this is about not talking to himself, but talking to someone else. However, I mean, he would be still talking to himself.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the 2 doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
So the point again was just that even if he is talking to another person in game, he's still talking to himself because he's coded the game. So just I think an interesting thought to bear in mind. Well, I'm not going to go the obvious route. Let's just see what's up here. You know, if I ever get round to creating a game and I could produce something like this in this small space that has even just a fraction of the atmosphere and music and thought and feeling, I would be pretty happy. And it's kind of inspiring me to want to do that as well. Because very simple tools were used. And I am a very simple man.
Just so you're aware, nothing will happen up here until you've been inside the house.
Okay, Davey, thank you as always. You are there to guide us. So it's a nice house. Floor to ceiling windows. I feel like I might be spending money just going through the door. Okay. Hello. Well, thank you.
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
And the music's pretty amazing as well. I'm smiling right now. Okay, back to the task at hand. Everyone knows lonesome hands make lousy homes. So, don't worry about me. A place this nice, I'll be glad to stay here all night. And lousy homes make home loners. Haha. Are we cleaning this whole place? Just something quite striking just about that first line. That's the story, little one. Okay, so don't worry now. We'll be through this mess in no time. I promise you'll wish there was more. Why don't I finish up here? In the meantime, would you please clear the table? Of course, I'd be happy to clear the table of this bloody mess. Please run into the bedroom and make the bed. Well, I sure will, fella. This is a messy bed. Boom. Boom. Now, would you please run in... Oh, excuse me. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug a little bit? All the details matter. Yep. They sure do. You sound like my wife. And just like her, you're absolutely correct. Let me straighten out this lovely IKEA rug from Bargain Corner. Done. Okay, so let's go back to our friend. Okay, do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How do you end up doing this job? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. See, I just can't be mean in game because I'm not mean in life. Okay, so do you enjoy being a house cleaner? Uh-oh. The pillows, eh? Done. Oh, we got some spilled drink. That's done, my friend. What's next? I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. Are you okay with that? Well, as somebody who's been accused of being cheesy myself, I hope that it is especially cheesy. Oh, have we upset him? Oh dear. Yeah, I'll wash the dishes. But think about what you wanted to say. Dishes are done. Dishes are done, bro. The tub. We need to scrub the tub. No need to be perfect. We are all just human. Yes, we are. And we are doing the best that we can. That looks pretty good to me. Oh, sure thing, sure thing. Let's put these books back. Good, good. Not too tidy. I like this scattering. Makes it look like you're reading them. Top tip, folks.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
That's actually pretty incredible, because I did definitely feel, obviously from the song, there's a certain calmness going on in this level. Excuse me, especially if you compare it to, you know, the somewhat scattered nature of some of the previous levels. This radiates calm. And if you've ever had an argument with a loved one, you've ever had a problem, you know, maybe that you've sat on for a while, and then you've decided to talk about, or you've somehow, in whatever way, you've come to a conclusion, there's a certain nice feeling. It's indescribable, unless you've been there. Anyway, let us clear the table again. Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these dishes off the table? Oh, I've done that, so housekeeping is difficult. How do you do it? Do these chores ever end? I'm gonna go with number 1.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Yeah, it is. It is very touching. I don't mind saying it. I don't know why. I mean, maybe you look at this and you think it's a bit twee, or you think that it's house cleaning simulator 2018 at this stage. For me, as I said, it radiates happiness. Let's just look at this passage because it's really quite beautiful. Darling, let me tell you something. In your lifetime, you're going to clean a lot of houses. And among all of those, a few of them will stick out as truly wonderful, beautiful experiences. And none of them will be the ones that were easy. Just something to think about while we smooth out the rug in the bedroom, which we'll go do in a moment. So how do we interpret this, I suppose, as the houses that you're cleaning, maybe they're problems that you're going to face. And those problems are going to turn out to be experiences. And maybe you're going to be better for those experiences. Maybe not. But the message in this case is a positive one. I actually find it really, really touching. Okay, well, let's go smooth out the rug. Again. Did I mention I got this in Bargain Corner? It was 40% off. There's a slight problem. I keep having to straighten it out. This tub. Every time my friends stay over. Look at this. There we go. Savages. Earlier when I said I had a cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurs to me that one's house is a lot like one's soul. Take care of it and it cares of you. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. Probably because we're told around every corner and on every page of a magazine to maybe not be honest. And when you are honest, unless it's with a good friend, can be awkward, I suppose. Anyway, option number 1. See, I don't think it is a weird thing to say to someone you just met, but that's me. The books. Gotta do the books. Gotta do the books. Done. Books are done. Pillows again.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace.
It does feel like peaceful, and I'll say it again, it radiates happiness. Okay, question.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Of course, the dark space between the doors representing the moment of reflection on an issue that maybe you've solved. And yeah, you can't stay there for too long, because the next step is closure. Jeez. Profound 101.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it. This one gets a bit goofy. About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Okay.
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Okay, so we are now the lecturer. There's me, inverted commas up there, and it looks like the Eye of Sauron may be trying to destroy us. Right, let's figure this out. So this is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? Oh, okay, I think I get it. So the yellow responses are me, as in this guy here, and the grayed out responses are the lecturer, I think. So, number 2. Validation is important. It's important to be perceived as wise and intelligent. No, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely wrong. I'm absolutely wrong. I'm playing as the lecturer. So the text in yellow is what I'm going to say out loud. The text in grey is what I'm thinking inside of my mind, but not saying out loud. How clever is that? Just kidding, suckers. Run for your lives.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.